Yeah, check it. Hey yo fam, what is up? It's the hardest working YouTuber on the platform. 2 videos a day, live streaming a video. You already know what it is. We're going to be looking at AMC, GME, SPY, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency in this video. Breaking down the news for Ethereum, XRP, and much, much more. You do not want to miss a second of this. We're also looking at AMC and GME, looking at the macro, how everything is playing out and coming to fruition as I said it would. And we're going to be looking at the micro, what I'm expecting for tomorrow and the rest of this week. Again, very informative video, breaking it down in technicals, and we're looking at SPY in the overall market as well. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, data. Let's go.
Yo, what is up, fam? You are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, SPY, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. You already know the deal. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Help us survive. Help us get out there. Hit that like button and subscribe and share the video. That's a great way to help out as well. I appreciate each and every one of you for allowing this to be my job. Now let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, data, showing y'all what's going on for today. So, if you missed the weekly outlook and prediction, make sure you check it out. That video is going to be key for this week as everything is tracking as predicted. We're going to break it all down in this video. Weekly outlook and prediction looking very, very good right now. You can see that video right here, approaching 1,000 views. Check that out. Hopefully get that over 1,000. What we're looking at here for AMC, GME is very, very interesting. So GME, I potentially talked about an early breakout of the falling wedge. Okay, we might be getting that now. Okay, I told you guys if SPY pushes up, GameStop's going to push up with it. GameStop has been following SPY a lot. Now, GameStop has made a lot of gap fills to the downside that we do have to be aware about. These gap fills are all the way down to like 21, all the way up to like 22, 22. So we do have to be worried about those gap fills. We might see some pullback on GME, especially if the overall market pulls back. But right now, the market is rallying. I'm going to talk about that in the SPY section and how far I think SPY is going to go here in a second. But GameStop is breaking out of the falling wedge here on Webull. If we go ahead and look on TradingView, we do have a little bit of ways to go here on TradingView before we break out of the falling wedge. But we are on our way to the upside of potentially breaking out of this wedge. And if we do break out of the falling wedge, you are going to see a nasty move to the upside here for GME. And the move that I talked about, that we break back above 34 will be coming as we had this rally, falling wedge, and then we will push up to go much, much higher, breaking out of this overall macro falling wedge and fulfilling that overall uptrend that I talked about that is coming after we break out of the macro falling wedge that I've talked about on GME for a long, long time. So this is all happening. The macro is playing out. When in doubt, zoom out. I told you guys a long time ago that we'd break out of this falling wedge and GME would start to trend up, and that's what we're doing. We are literally starting to trend up, and if we break out of this falling wedge, we'll get a nice move to the upside. So everything is going according to plan. Macro tracking, micro tracking, each and every day we watch these things come to fruition, and it is looking good. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe as we talk about this stuff all the time. And we've been talked about this falling wedge and that we would go into this overall bull run here on GME. So if we can manage to maintain above the key level of 23.45, you could see GME start to move up. What I'm expecting to happen is GME will probably come up or back down and retest this overall sloping support and resistance. If it can hold it as support, then you'll see a move up. So we'll probably come back and probably have a steep pullback and move up, okay? And if we can use this as support, then that will confirm that, yes, GME is going to break out of this falling wedge early, and we'll start to move up because we have several gap fills to the upside. So we need to stay above the key level of 23.44. 23.45, around that range. We need to stay above that level, and if we do, that means we will continue to the upside. Now, I'm expecting some pullback tomorrow in the morning, possibly down as low as 23.17. If we can get back to the upside, again, above like that 23.44, 23.45, 23.50 range, that means we could start moving to the upside towards $24 and $25, and we'll be breaking out of this falling wedge. We need to watch this very, very closely. We do have these gap fills to the downside to worry about for GME, and RSI is getting overbought. But right now we can see that we have a ton of momentum here on the alligator 2-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, looking very, very bullish. Again, RSI starting to get towards that overbought territory, but it's looking very, very bullish as we break out of this macro falling wedge, and this could see us have a very, very nice move to the upside. So this is what we're looking at for GME. We just need to hold those key levels of about 23.50, and if we hold that key level, that means we could push to the upside and we can start moving towards $30 to $35 in my personal opinion. So this is what I'm looking at for GME, short term and long term. It's going to really depend on if SPY continues up and if we can hold those key levels to make sure that we were actually breaking out of this falling wedge. And again, we need to confirm the falling wedge as support. Anytime you break out of a falling wedge or any type of pattern, you have to come back down, use it as support, and then once you use it as support, you'll get your push up. So that's what we're looking at for GME. GME, as far as short shares and short interest is sitting at 6.98%, and short shares at time of recording is sitting at 2.5 million. AMC short shares sitting at 4.4 million. They started the day with 5.1 million, shorting a ton of short shares on AMC. Short interest should be going up because you can see that they're shorting all the time, and you can see short interest is at 8.82%. That is plenty of short interest for a short squeeze. Cost of borrow sitting at 0.51% here for AMC at time of recording, and cost of borrow sitting at 0.30% here for GME at time of recording. Now, as far as AMC technicals are concerned, I'm expecting AMC to continue to the upside as well with GME. Again, AMC tracking perfectly with my prediction from the weekly outlook and prediction. I said that we'll push up. AMC's key is if AMC can break above like 309, 315 and break above this sloping support and resistance, that means AMC will break out very, very hard. I told you guys about the bullish divergence on AMC and that it's going to play out. That RSI was trending up as price was trending down. I told you that AMC would bottom out and then correct to the upside. That's what we're potentially seeing. If we break above the sloping support and resistance here, you're going to see a very, very nice move to the upside here on AMC. And AMC also has a falling wedge in play as well. Again, potentially breaking out of it here on TradingView. Multiple buy orders here on AMC looking very, very bullish. Again, we have these sell orders right on top as well, but multiple buy orders are trying to pin us down, because if AMC does break out of this falling wedge, you're going to see a nasty move to the upside where AMC could start moving back towards $6 and then make that overall massive double bottom that I talked about for AMC on the macro. So again, when in doubt, zoom out. Macro is playing out. And again, we can see that there's credence to these macro plays, because you can see that MACD now for both AMC and GME is on the monthly time frame is green. Last time we had green monthly MACD, we had a massive bull run to the upside. These massive short squeeze bull runs to the upside. We're moving into a bullish cycle. Again, green MACD here for GME. I believe we could get this massive double bottom. If AMC can start moving back up towards $556, it could absolutely blast off if it can break and hold that level of $556. Again, if we start to move up out of this falling wedge, there is nothing stopping us from moving towards those levels. And if we get back past that $556, that's going to create that double bottom, and we are going to launch, ladies and gentlemen. So this is looking good for AMC. I think we actually are setting up for a bullish move to the upside, especially if the market does continue to move down. Again, the market for the short term is going to move up, which I'm going to explain here in a second. But if we get further capitulation, I believe AMC and GME could hold up and see bigger moves to the upside. And I believe the macro is playing out for both of these stocks. Again, the bigger time frames, green monthly MACD, falling wedge breakout here for GME, which is going to lead to an overall uptrend. And then we have the double bottom for AMC, which is going to lead to a nasty uptrend upside move as well. So this is what I'm looking at for AMC and GME. AMC tomorrow, I'm expecting us to move to the upside. If we can break above 305, that means we could move towards that 309, 315 level. So again, we need to break and hold 305. And if we break 315, 309, that means we could see a substantial move to the upside, as we would be breaking out of this overall falling wedge, which would be very, very, very bullish. We do have these gap fills to the downside, which we might come down and fill. One is at 290. to about 291, and one is at about 280 to 286. So you could just say about 286 to about 291. We have some gap fills that we do have to worry about here for AMC, and we do have some gap fills that we have to worry about here for GME. This is what I'm looking at for the meme stocks. Things are looking good. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this video was a banger. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And again, when in doubt, zoom out. Things are looking good, and the macro is playing out, and we are tracking. Let's go ahead and move into SPY and show you all what's going on for SPY. Again, same thing here for SPY. We are still tracking perfectly with the prediction from the weekly outlook and prediction. In fact, if you go ahead and play that video, you could actually go ahead and see that these predictions were in the video. Right here is SPY playing out exactly as predicted. Same exact prediction playing out exactly as predicted as we move to the upside. I believe SPY has continued upside, but SPY has to hold the key level of 566.30. If SPY can hold 566.30 and then break above 567.99 and hold that level, then SPY will continue to the upside, going up as high as possibly these gap fills. The gap fills go to about 574.35 to about 580 to about 581. I believe once we fill those gaps, SPY will pull back. I believe SPY is going to continue to the upside. You can see green MACD. RSI starting to get towards that overbought territory, so we might need to consolidate a little bit before moving up, and that's what I think we'll see in the morning. We'll probably consolidate, maybe even come down, testing some of these lower supports and some resistances, but I believe SPY is going to continue up without a doubt, in my personal opinion. Now, we have to be very, very careful because we do have some major data drops coming out. We have tomorrow building permits and housing starts, but even more important is going to be FOMC. That's going to be on Wednesday, and that's going to be absolutely huge. Fed press conference after FOMC, and of course Fed interest rate decision as well. This is going to be massive. The market is expecting the rates to stay the same, so if we get a rate change of any type, it could shake up the market and cause it to pump or dump. So we want to be very, very careful on Wednesday. But I think we're going to see bullishness into Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and then possibly Wednesday as well. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly start to see some bearishness. But I think what SPY is setting up to do is come up and fill these gaps. I think NASDAQ's doing the same thing. You can actually see NASDAQ's already starting to fill the gaps, and it's following my prediction as well, working its way up. I think it's going to come up and fill these gaps and then come down. Again, you cannot just go straight down, okay? Stocks have to move up and down. So I do think we're going to still see a crash, but you're going to see bounces on the way down, okay? Even in 2008, you saw bounces on the way down. I think we're going to still pull back, in my personal opinion, and see a major correction, as there's still a ton of uncertainty. I showed you guys that with the whole Trump tariff thing and everything going on. There's still a ton of uncertainty, a ton of things going on. So I think that there is still a chance that we will still see a major pullback, in my personal opinion. Again, NASDAQ still with this overall double top. I think we're just getting a little bit of relief bounce as RSI got oversold on these bigger time frames, and then we're going to continue down. Stocks like NVIDIA, Apple, the major tech stocks, I still think are going to be seeing downside, which is going to take the overall market with it. SQQQ still looking particularly strong. Now let's go ahead and move into crypto and then BTC, and then wrap up this video. And I appreciate everyone who made it this far. Thank you guys so much. So here, Bitcoin. Never sell your Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Never sell your Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin always keeps going up. Also, I just talked about how whales are accumulating XRP. We also have news that whales are accumulating Ethereum as well. Ladies and gentlemen, people are accumulating. This is prime buying time for Bitcoin, for crypto, and I believe that we are actually seeing a relative slight bear market before a continuation in a much larger bull run. Again, you can see that we're in the buy zone, and then we're moving into close to basically a fire sale zone on BTC, okay? If you would have bought there in any time in history, you would have made a ton of money. If you would have bought here, you can see, if you would have bought in the blue, you would have made it money. If you would have bought in the blue, you would have made money. If you'd have bought in the blue, you made money. I believe the same thing will happen. Bitcoin will continue up. But I think Bitcoin is having a slight recovery, bear flag right here, which is going to lead to a downside, and we're going to see a little bit more dip before a potential rip. I think we're going to come down for a liquidity grab, and then Bitcoin is going to rip up. I think altcoins might see a little bit of a dump down and then rip up as well. Whales are accumulating. XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, people are buying. Again, I'm buying as well. You guys have to make up your own decision, but right now it is looking good for crypto in my personal opinion. If you look at crypto, fear and greed, you can see crypto in the fear. You want to buy the fear, extreme fear. You want to buy fear, you want to be selling the greed. But again, right now, Bitcoin is in a bit of a bear flag where you could possibly see a breakdown after a little bit more movement to the upside. So it's going to seem like it's recovering, and then you're going to see a breakdown in my personal opinion. So altcoins are going to do okay. They're going to be kind of a mixed bag, but you're going to see mostly green as Bitcoin kind of recovers. But if it does get a slump down, then you're going to see altcoins bleed as well, because Bitcoin dominance is very, very high. You can see that altcoins are doing well right now. And again, get ready for a potential XRP trade, because XRP is potentially coming, the Ripple lawsuit is potentially coming to an end. I want the DZ fam to be aware of this. This is absolutely huge. If that comes to an end and they get an ETF, XRP is absolutely going to blast off and go to the moon. $3, $4, $5, $6, okay? So be ready for that. That's a possible trade coming up for XRP. Prime coins, XLM is a great choice as well. Ethereum, Cardano, these coins are going to be essential in the future, as well as Bitcoin. Me personally, I hold 50% Bitcoin. Then my next biggest holding is XRP and Ethereum and ADA for full transparency. But I do believe those coins would do very, very well. Now, this is what I'm looking at for crypto. Again, I think we'll see a little bit of recovery. If we could break out of the bear flag and move up for whatever reason past 91.6K, that would be bullish. But I think Bitcoin is going to see a little bit more downside probably around Wednesday, around FOMC rate decision. And then we'll dip down, recover, and then start moving back to the upside. But again, dips are for buying on crypto in my personal opinion, not financial advice. And I've been very, very accurate about what is going on for Bitcoin. I called the Bitcoin bull run after we broke out of the falling wedge. After we broke out of this bull flag here, I called for the 100K and the 80K move. I was very, very accurate talking about that we'd probably top out around 110, 115. You can see we topped out at about 109. So again, I've been very, very, very accurate with crypto. So make sure you like and subscribe, as I've been on point on what is going on with BTC and what is going to happen in the crypto market. This was your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like. If you want, you could check out the merch store. Comment down in the link below. There's a link down below. Just check it out. You don't even have to buy anything. Just check it out. I want to see some traffic drawn to the merch store. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys went crazy on the super chats and gifted today, and I appreciate y'all for doing that, because that helps us keep doing the live streams every day, all day. And I appreciate y'all for allowing this to be my job. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
Alright, y'all, this video, if you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate you if you watch to the end. There's so few people watch to the end, and that helps me out immensely. And as always, y'all, thank you, have fun, stay safe, make money.